Welcome to the TEDx Speaker's Guide to Paid Speaking Success. How to build a high-fee, speaking-driven business. My name is David Newman. I'm the author of the book Do It Marketing and the new book Do It Speaking, 77 Instant Action Ideas to Market, Monetize, and Maximize Your Expertise, coming from HarperCollins. Let's get right to the meat. This training is for you if you're a TEDx speaker, your TEDx speech has led to some inquiries. In other words, speakers, consultants, trainers, coaches, experts, authors, maybe you're a university faculty member, media personalities, solopreneurs, basically smart cookies with something to say or something to sell. Whether your current speaking fee is $0 all the way up through $8, $10, $12, $15,000, maybe even as high as $25,000 per speech, the idea is you want more reach and you want more revenue. You want to impact more audiences. You want to help more people with your speaking-driven business. Or maybe you've simply tasted some speaking success and you would like to create a speaking-driven business. Either way, we're going to have something here for you. Who am I besides the author of those two books? Well, I'm also a certified speaking professional with the National Speakers Association. I've presented over 800 paid programs since 1992. I am blessed to count 44 of the Fortune 500 among my clients and audiences, and I've mentored over 550 speakers, experts, and leaders. I've been featured in the New York Times, Forbes, Selling Power, Investors Business Daily, CNBC, Entrepreneur, all kinds of cool media. I've been a main stage speaker at the National Speakers Association annual convention. That is the toughest speaking gig ever, and I myself generate $10,000 to $15,000 speaking fees every time I step on stage. And through a lot of hard work and the application of some of the strategies that I'm going to share with you today, I'm also a member of the $1 Million Speakers Group. That's the invitation-only group for seven-figure enterprise-driven speaking business owners whose companies generate over $1 million of top-line revenue. Perhaps most important as far as you're concerned, I also sat in the buyer's chair. I worked for 12 months as a meeting planner and conference producer. I hired over 160 speakers and experts myself into our virtual and live events. Within 2 weeks of taking on that job, I instantly knew what I was doing wrong as a speaker when I was sitting on the other side of the table. I instinctively knew what worked and what didn't when it came to getting a professional meeting planner's attention, so much so that I created a new program called Help Me Hire You, 21 strategies to get booked and stay booked from the buyer's perspective, and I presented that at a National Speakers Association annual convention to a standing room only crowd, and that was over a decade ago. Ever since then, I've been helping speakers, experts, executives, and entrepreneurs get booked and stay booked as experts who speak professionally. Now, if you're a TEDx speaker, you might think speaking is great, but I've got even better news for you. Not only can you get paid to speak, you can get paid to build a speaking-driven business that supports you and your family and gives you the lifestyle and freedom goals that you want. Some scaling and growth ideas is what I call a speaking plus business model. Speaking plus consulting, for example. Consulting engagement might run anywhere from $25,000 to $100,000. We just had one of our clients close a $250,000 engagement. A few weeks prior, another client closed a $140,000 speaking engagement. It might be speaking plus coaching. Coaching agreements, coaching for an individual executive might range anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000, sometimes more, sometimes less if you're dealing with an entire executive group that you're coaching. Maybe it's speaking plus speaking. So you do lead generating speaking on the front end, and then you sell your paid professional speaking for $5,000, $10,000, $12,000, $18,000 on the back end. Perhaps speaking plus you've developed an online course, and that course might sell anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 per person. Speaking plus sponsorship, getting corporate sponsorships, six-figure and multi-six-figure corporate sponsorships. Our clients have been able to get many of those going, and it just gets better and better and better. This is what I mean by a speaking plus or a speaking plus 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 business model, that no matter what your business model and service menu involves, speaking generates more leads, better prospects, and bigger sales. So let's talk about the world of speaking in the TEDx universe versus the world of paid professional speaking. And there are some key differences that you need to know about. Difference number one is that unlike TEDx, you will get paid to speak. Fees that TEDx speakers can expect right now, right here, if you have a TEDx talk that's out there, you immediately elevate and escalate to $45, $55, $65, perhaps even $7,500 right away. You know why? Because you've got indisputable proof that you are an awesome speaker, and that is your TEDx video. For some of you listening to this, it might even make more sense to be at $10,000 or above $10,000 based on your professional expertise, experience, and background. I'll tell you why this fee conversation is really important. Your fee reflects directly on your credibility, and your fee reflects directly on the value that you're going to offer an audience. Never underestimate your fee, never cave on price, and never let someone else's budget determine your value. Let me rip a page from the headlines from the National Speakers Association. This is a member survey that even brand new members of the National Speakers Association charge $3,820 as a minimum daily rate. If you've been at this for any length of time, and most TEDx speakers have been at this for more than a year, $55, $65, $7,500 fees are not unusual at all, and you do not need to wait to be 3 to 5 years in, 6 to 10 years in. This is the going rate that buyers are used to paying. So don't worry about how many years you've been doing this. Look at the market rate. Look at the going rate for the speakers that are at your level. And regardless of how long or short you've been doing this, these are the fees that you need to charge to be taken seriously. John Garrett came through our program. He says it's the best ROI a recovering CPA could dream of. I was able to sell more speaking engagements to better clients at consistently higher fees to the point of an 85% increase in income from last year. I booked a $5,500 gig within 5 weeks of starting the program. The reason I share this with you, a lot of people mistakenly think there's a supply and demand curve, that you can do a lot of speaking for free or for low fees, but listen to John's language. Sell more speaking engagements to better clients at consistently higher fees. Sometimes we think, well, if I want to sell more speaking, I should charge less. And if I charge less, I'll get more gigs. John was able to crack the code with our guidance, and he was able to sell more speaking gigs, higher fees, better clients. That's the combination for a TEDx speaker. That's what you need to be working on. Difference number 2 as a TEDx speaker is obviously the level of depth, duration, and detail in a TEDx speech versus a paid professional speech to a corporation, association, or group that might be paying you a $4,000, $5,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 speaking fee. 18 minutes maximum versus a typical corporate or association speech is 45 to 75 minutes. It's going to be less information and inspiration like a TEDx talk. It's going to be more strategic, perhaps more holistic, bringing together and synthesizing a couple of different ideas instead of the TEDx method, which is the focus on one key central idea. And motivational, by motivational, I mean applicable and motivation to act, motivation to implement. There are lots of different speaking models above and beyond TEDx. So the way to market, monetize, and maximize your speaking is limited only by your imagination. So you're no longer constrained by that TEDx, very rigid, very strict speaking model. In fact, what I'd really like you to do is make the switch in your mind that you're not a professional speaker, you're a professional problem solver. Professional speakers get hired when the meetings industry is good, when the economy is good, when everything is coming up roses. Professional problem solvers get hired all the time, rain or shine, happy or sad, economy up, economy down. In fact, professional problem solvers and experts who speak professionally as professional problem solvers, they would tend to get hired more when the economy takes a dip or when their prospect base is experiencing more or more severe problems. I can't tell you how profound that switch is in your mindset. Because once you make that switch, you'll easily command $5,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000, $15,000 prices for your work. You'll be positioned as the obvious choice for premium clients. Those clients are expecting to pay premium fees for the kinds of results that you deliver, and you'll build a consistent $15,000, $20,000, maybe even $30,000 per month or more speaking-driven business. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Now, that's not just a pipe dream. Have a look at what Tony Lucero was able to do. Tony came through our program. He says, long story short, I've picked up 2 coaching clients totaling $32,400, and I'm on retainer for 90 days at $10,000 per month with the company. Not bad. The reason I'm telling you this is not to boast, but doing the activity that David outlines and focus on what I wanted to attract to my business that allowed the doors to be opened. Stay the course, do the work, and know your target market. Now, the reason I share this with you, Tony came into our program as a very seasoned speaker already. He had done short talks, he had done keynotes, he had done all kinds of stage time. He never thought of himself as a professional problem solver. And look at the results that he was able to make after pivoting and shifting away from professional speaker to professional problem solver. All sorts of different depth, duration, and detail was available to him to offer his client not to just do a speech, but to actually help them and solve their problem and get them to a destination and to an outcome that was important to them to the tune of a $62,400 contract. Imagine doing something like that for your business. Difference number 3 is about marketing and developing opportunities. This can and should be a business for you. Not a hobby, not doing it for free, not a one-time gig like a TEDx talk that fades over time. Imagine if on an ongoing basis, your ideas propelled your influence and built your income week after week, month after month, year after year. You're not just relying on some TEDx talk from 6 months ago or last year or a few years ago, but you are doing this on a regular basis. You are getting on stages, you are impacting audiences, you are growing your influence, and you're getting paid handsomely to do so. Not as a hobby, but as a professional problem solver. That's what we're talking about. That's how to transition from being an awesome TEDx speaker to being a profitable, high-fee, high-impact expert who speaks professionally. Whether you're an executive, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, this can add over 6 figures to the business that you're in now, or it might become your main business, that you stop your corporate job, you escape out of that corporate gig, and you start going full-time, big-time into paid professional speaking, coaching, consulting, writing books, having fun, and changing lives. In case you're not familiar with the professional speaking and the meetings industry landscape, speaking is thriving. There are 18 million meetings a year. There's 7,500 business meetings per day. That means there were 7,500 yesterday, there are 7,500 today, and there will be 7,500 tomorrow, and every single day of the year. Why shouldn't you be getting paid to be in front of some of those rooms? It's a $280 billion industry. It's got a 4.8% annual growth rate year over year. This sounds like great news. But is that turning into great clients and a healthy speaking business and money in your pocket as a TEDx speaker? Unfortunately, for most TEDx speakers, the answer is no, because you're not looking at this as a profession and you're letting the gold slip right through your fingers. So it's time for us to capture some of that opportunity, capture some of that revenue, capture some of that income for you so that you can build a healthy six-figure or multi-six-figure business around the chops that you already have as a great speaker. Here's what you really need. You need a strategy, and the strategy has three parts. There's a business model, there's a service model or a speaking model, and there's a revenue model that you need to decide foundationally in your business. How much speaking do you want to do? For what kinds of corporations, associations, and groups? How many would you like to sell? At what fee per month? Once you have that dialed in, you can generate a repeatable, reliable system. In other words, a repeatable tactical process, what to do every single day when you wake up in the morning, sit down at your computer. How can you generate a predictable flow of clients and cash for your speaking-driven business? Once you build this machine, and of course we help our clients build this machine all the time, then it's just a question of showing up day after day, doing the work, making the outreach, building the relationships, adding value to enough clients and prospects where you get hired for that business model to fulfill that speaking and service model, and you hit the revenue goals that you want. It's a very simple math problem, and we can help you through that. Here's what I mean. Fee elevation and escalation, once you put your mind to it, and once you install that marketing and sales machine that we saw on the previous slide, here are some results. I had to run some numbers for my financial planner. We had gross revenue of $106K for the past 6 months. That's more than I've ever made anywhere in any 6-month period. Another thanks. Have a great weekend. FYI, I just got another gig for $12,500 for a day. I'm steadily raising my fees and so far getting it. I'm still not getting as many as I want, but I'm getting more for the ones I'm getting. So there's a little reality check, dose of reality. Hey, how's that 30K gig coming along? Did that close? Yes, it's in 2 weeks. Because of David and Teresa, I have a system to contact qualified leads. My sales proposition is what they're looking for, and I'm booking clients. Let's tally the nudge from Newman numbers. 3 new clients, almost $20,000 income up front, and a clear path towards only doing one-to-many group coaching for high fees. Oh, I must tell you, because of so much I've learned from you, I broke the 6-figure mark already this year, and it's not even October yet. Thank you. What you're teaching works. Here's another one. Thanks for everything. Getting back on track. Booked $33K in the past 3 weeks. Yes, please. I've been using the great stuff in your speaker marketing workshop and booked 2 $5,000 speeches this week. Thanks, David. And then one more. Don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched or spoil it before it happens, but it looks like your LinkedIn reach out message sent via email may have just landed me a $60,000 to $70,000 contract in less than a week of sales cycle to boot. So success story after success story after success story. What we're teaching here works, but you have to professionalize your mindset and you have to monetize your speaking. And then once you've built that sales and marketing machine, the floodgates will open and everything will start to click for you. Here's the 7-part system that our clients use. Now, there are 7 components here: strategy, packaging, focus, prospects, outreach, sales, and leverage. If you have all of them lined up in the right way, what the ultimate end result will be is in that right-hand side column where that red arrow is pointing down. So once you have all 7 dialed in, you get success. If you're missing even one of these components, though, your business will suffer, and let's talk about what those symptoms might look like. Without strategy, you're going to suffer from tacticitis. Tactic after tactic after tactic with no guiding strategy, that's simply busy work. Without the appropriate packaging, you're going to be what I call a same-o, lame-o speaker. Look like, sound like, act like everybody else, and you're going to suffer from commodity status. Without focus, you're going to be a squirrel, like in the Disney movie Up, where Doug the dog goes, oop, squirrel, easily distracted, constantly being pulled off course. Without a prospecting strategy, you're going to be in pinball mode. Pinball means that one day you're speaking to the accountants, the next day it's the engineers, the next day it's the lunch ladies. The problem with being a pinball is the accountants don't talk to the engineers don't talk to the lunch ladies, and the lunch ladies don't talk to the accountants, so it's very hard to get traction in any sort of market. If you're missing outreach is missing, that's the blank square. BKS stands for best kept secret. That your clients might love you, but everyone else has never heard of you. No one knows your name. You're getting all kinds of downwards price pressure, and you're the best kept secret in your niche or in your topic. If sales is missing, you're slowly going broke. That's what I did in the first 3 years of my business back in 2002 and 3 and 4. I had no idea what I was doing. I was a total generalist. I was just bleeding money, and I wish I had some structure and guidance in that marketing and sales machine that I pointed out to you earlier. You can have everything dialed in if you're missing leverage. Leverage is the last piece that perhaps isn't there in your business. You're maxed out, stressed out, and burned out. You do not have ongoing leverage and scaling strategies built into your business, so you're on the hamster wheel and you're constantly getting sucked into exhausting work for fees lower than you'd like. So you don't want any of those 7 problems. All of these things need to be dialed in. They need to be dialed in all at once. Now, if that seemed a little bit overwhelming, let's slow down, because your phase determines where you should focus on this grid. So whether you're a brand new speaker, as far as you've done some TEDx or one TEDx, but you're new to professional speaking, the question for you is, do you have these 7 things? Do you have a rock-solid strategy, really strong packaging, incredibly clear focus, a prospecting plan, an outreach plan, some good sales methodology, and some leverage and scaling strategies built into your business? Mid-career speaker might be asking a different question. Maybe you have it. Is it getting the results that you want? And of course, we've even worked with some very advanced speakers, elite speakers. The question for an elite or advanced speaker 10 plus years into the business is, what's your next level or what's your next version of this? Let's just slow down and do some assessment and some diagnosis. Ask yourself these questions. Is something that we've talked about today missing? If it's missing, you need to add it. Is it messy? You need to fix it. Is it misaligned, not quite connecting the right way? You need to pivot it. And of course, if you're not sure what to add, what to fix, or what to pivot, maybe you don't even know what's missing or messy or misaligned, we're here to help. And here's how this works. You're going to apply for a diagnostic strategy session. The link for that is on this slide. It's doitmarketing.com/call. And we're going to talk about speaking as a lead generator, as a revenue generator, and as a platform builder for your business or your career. We're going to take a good hard look at what's working and what's not working, exactly what your next level of success looks like based on your exact situation right now today, on your current assets, your current reach and revenue, the current lifestyle and freedom goals that you want. The cost for this diagnostic private strategy session is $0. If you want our help to operationalize the plan that we create together, we can certainly discuss that. And the link to do so is doitmarketing.com/call. If you've already tasted some success on the TEDx stage, let's make you into a high profit, high fee expert who speaks professionally. The path and the plan to help you do that is doitmarketing.com/call. Book your confidential speaker strategy session now, and we'll see you on your call.